You're live. All right. I think we're good. I got the comments back. We're back, folks. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We're locked in. Thanks for joining me. Starting off, I just want to say thank you. 30,000 subscribers. You guys all voted, so I appreciate that. That's why we're doing this. 30 minutes for 30,000 subscribers, but I'm also going to do a little bonus since I was obviously like 5 minutes late. So we'll jump into it. All questions are fair game. Hello. Number one, Kyle, what's going on? Prepare to take off. What's up, Julie? Judy from Florida. Caitlin, what's going on? El Paso, yes, I have Wilmore a few times to El Paso, a bunch of times actually, more times in the last probably like 3 or 4 months. Nice to go there during the winter, especially New York winters. Judy asks, crazy question. Were you on The Bachelorette several years ago? I was. Yeah, I was on season 20 of The Bachelorette and then season 9, I think it was, of Bachelor in Paradise. So maybe you recognize me from there. Tracy, what's going on? Sonia joined. She joined, but she's sitting right to my right. Hey, Sonia.
Hi.
Hey, from Ontario. Memphis, what's in the house? What's up, everyone? New Jersey. Chicago, what's up, guys? Appreciate you joining on. And yeah, excited to get started. I'm off this week until Saturday. So Saturday is my first trip. It's actually a deadhead down to Costa Rica, San Jose, Costa Rica. If you watched a couple of videos ago, you probably saw I went down there and I had like the best time ever. So this one is similar. It's a front end deadhead. So the company's going to buy me a flight down there, first class. And then I'm going to go 3 days early. My girlfriend's going to join me. We're going to go have some fun in Santa Teresa. So Morristown's in the house. What's up? Newport Beach. Hello, Melissa. Wilmore with the first question. We got any advice for the motion sickness on the Cessna 172? My flight lesson was awful yesterday. Wilmer, I do. I actually suffered from the exact same issue you had. I took 3 or 4 lessons and I hated it. I threw up in the flight deck like each flight. And I was like, Mom, Dad, let's get our money back. This stinks. 2 things. 1, Dramamine really helped, the pills. Now you can't be solo pilot in command on those, but right now you're not that. You're with a CFI. He or she is the pilot in command. So you're absolutely able to take Dramamine, no problems. And then the biggest thing that you can wear for the rest of your career, if you needed to, there's these motion sickness bands. I was actually just cleaning out my basement in my parents' house, and I came upon them in one of my little boxes. They're like these wristbands. Just type in Google wristband motion sickness, and they have this little bead that goes down on a pressure point on your wrist. And I don't know if it's mental or it actually does help, but I wore them and it really, really did help me. So Dramamine in those bands and you'll be good to go. And then also, last thing would be, don't focus on the lesson your next time going up. Just focus on like looking outside, enjoying the view. Go fly over your house if it's not under like restricted airspace or anything like that. And this will really give you, that ability to kind of feel the airplane out a little more. That's my best advice. Hey, Pete from Rocky, got a question for you. Do you late night flying or early midday schedule? I do not like flying at night, period. Or super early. I'm that 8 a.m. to like 8 p.m. is my absolute bread and butter. Now with my company, most of you guys know who I fly for. That can be difficult. My seniority's creeping up on the 767 as a first officer based out of Memphis. I'm about 58% in seat right now. I'm able to hold pretty much day flying, deadheads, and kind of pick and swap and trade my schedule to benefit me, whether I'm flying out of Newark or JFK. That's what I prefer. I get more days at home, more paid. So I prefer that midday kind of stuff. Prepare for takeoff. I'm in 11th grade and want to become a commercial pilot, but I'm confused about what to do after high school. Should I just attend flight school, a degree as a backup first, or a Part 141 college program? Great question. First answer is there is no wrong answer to that. You're gonna have to do the one that fits your lifestyle the best. Now I have recommendations depending on what you're trying to accomplish. If you just want to become a commercial airline pilot and get there as fast as possible, have the longest career, have the best seniority, it would be to go to one of those accelerated flight programs like ATP, Lift Academy. There's a dozen of them. I have no experience with them. I never flew at one of these accelerated programs. They have pros and cons, just like any other flight school. Get your hours as quickly as possible. Get on an airline as quickly as possible. get seniority at that airline, upgrade to captain as soon as possible, and then throw all your apps out to all the majors and legacies and get hired as quickly as possible. But if you want to have a backup plan, or you're really interested in fine arts or finance or mathematics, whatever it may be, then definitely go to college. I would much rather give up a few years of seniority in my career to have that college experience. So I went to Arizona State, shout out Sun Devils. I went to tailgates, Greek life, intramurals, met some cool people, lifelong friends. So that's my experience in doing that. So you can't go wrong with either, but it's all going to be up to you. Prepare. Fayetteville's in the house. St. Louis, what's up? Tony Drews or Ted Drews is a yes for me. Emo's Pizza is a no for me. I'm sorry. New Yorker, born and bred. Hey, I'm a current junior and aspiring airline pilot. I'm looking through universities for aviation. I saw you went to ASU. Why ASU was a good experience? Why ASU? Because I wanted to go somewhere far, big, and warm. That was my criteria leaving high school. I had no idea ASU even had a flight program. I just kind of stumbled upon it, got lucky, met some people in the program, transferred into the flight program my sophomore year, and pun intended, just took off from there and really, really enjoyed it. So ASU had a great program. It's definitely changed a lot since I've been there. But if you're looking for the best of both worlds, a flight school, but also like a really, really enjoyable college experience, I could not recommend ASU more. Back to Costa Rica. Can't wait. Yes, Tracy, Sonia's here for the tech support. Absolutely. That's why I pay her the big bucks. Melissa's been getting motion sickness. Yeah, try those motion bands out. They really help. When are you going to be next FDX 204? I don't memorize the flight numbers. If you guys want to follow me and track me, my actual specific flights, definitely follow me on Instagram. It's pilotpete.fly, and then join my broadcast channel before every flight. Those who are probably already in it, I post my flight numbers there. You can track me, see where I'm going, all that good stuff. So if you want to know specific flights in real time, that's the only way you're going to be able to do it. Alan, when are you and Sonia running a marathon together? We are running the New York City Marathon November 2nd or 3rd. Fact check that. Whatever the first Sunday of November is, we will both be running NYC. 2nd. Sonia says the 2nd. So we're doing it together on the 2nd. I'll be running 3 weeks prior to that. I think it's October 12th or 13th, whatever the Sunday is, in Chicago. So I'm trying to go really fast in Chicago and then be there for support for Sonia in New York. Chuck, hey Pete, I have high anxiety every time I fly. Any suggestions how to get rid of it? Yes. Depending on how bad the anxiety is, well, I'll start with this. I started way about like a year ago, me and a couple friends, we realized that this was a problem for a lot of people. Luckily not myself, because it's my profession, but a lot of people, I think it's like estimated 300 million people suffer from anxiety when it comes to flying. So we started a program, flycalmer.com. Can I chat in here? Let's see. Yeah, I can. I'll link it now. Hopefully this doesn't screw up the chat.
You're commercial now.
I am. So what happens when I keep talking? Maybe it's a commercial for you, but not for everyone else. I don't know. We're going to keep going.
You're back now.
So flycalmer.com made a course for people exactly like yourself that struggle with anxiety. And then we're just going to grow that platform out. We're going to have like live texting with pilots. You can also book a phone call one-on-one with me, because the thing with anxiety with flying, everyone has a little bit different reasoning. I have clients that call me that are scared of flying over water, clients that are scared of turbulence, clients that are scared of like the night before. So it depends on what you're nervous about. The big takeaway thing from that is flying is perfectly safe. We have less and less accidents every single year, despite what you might see on social media, what you might see on network news. It is the safest form of travel, period. Let's see here. Next one. Charlotte, Wesley, I think we got rid of day flying in Charlotte, so it might be tough for me to go there. Let's see. Tariq, I know. It was quite the experience. Javo, Pilot Pete, I started CFI training and I'm really struggling with it. Any advice? It's tough. It is tough. It is the hardest certificate to get because you have to know everything, right? You have to become the professor of flight training. My best advice would just to be studied, break it down into small parts. So if you're struggling with the knowledge-based stuff, break it down. So learn weather, right? Learn what icing is and clouds and METARs and TAFs. Once you get a good handle on that, learn aircraft systems and break that down by even more parts. So learn the anti-ice on the Beechcraft Bonanza, learn the propeller system and the P factor on the Cessna 182, whatever airplane you're going to instruct in, and just break it down. It's not hard. It's not hard necessarily. It's just a lot of information. So if you've gotten this far and you're working on your CFI, you're definitely smart enough to get there. The flying skills obviously are there if you have your commercial, your instrument, obviously your PPL. It's just learning how to be able to teach it. So I totally can relate. It's definitely not the easiest thing, but just again, break it down into smaller parts would be my best advice. Yo, Julio. Judy, Pete, you live in Memphis, but based in news, how do you get that change? I can't get it changed. There is no, sorry, the camera's backwards. There is no Newark base for my company. So for now, we're living here. Springfield, Missouri, I've been there a few times. What's up? Melissa, do you notice turbulence a lot over Lake Michigan? I don't ever notice it at specific spots. The only place I really recognize it is over the Rocky Mountains, if I'm being perfectly honest. Tariq, which is better to start working at, JFK, Newark, or LaGuardia? Are you talking about being a pilot, ground handler, baggage, customer service agent? Depends on which one. I would say they all have their pros and cons. I would personally work at the one that's closest to my house for the commute, because we all know if you're commuting in New York, whether by car, bicycle, airplane, subway, it's a disaster. So one of these closest is what I would recommend, Tariq. Chris, let's see what Chris has to say. Sorry, guys, technical difficulties. We're working through it. Chris said, I don't want to miss anyone. Where did Chris go? 4 flights until I'm endorsed for private check ride. Any advice going into besides not busting the New York City Bravo? No, dude, you already know what you're doing. Honestly, at this point, they're just checking boxes. Just kind of fine tune your skills. Attack your weak points, right? So it's steep turns, slow flights, stalls, emergency procedures. Don't shy away from them, because even if you don't do it great that day, you'd rather do it not so well with your instructor more than the actual check ride. So short field landing, soft field takeoffs, whatever it may be, hammer out those weak spots. Good luck though. You're going to crush it. Ron, hey Pete, did you ever think about flying in the military? I did. Sonia will laugh in the background, but I had this, we were cleaning out my room together at my parents' house, and it was like a Military for Dummies book I bought. And I was this close to joining the Air Force Reserves, but then I read that you had to shave your head. And I was like, no way is anyone touching my hair except my barber. So scratch that and all civilian from here on out. What do we track your flights on? Tracy, if you are on the Instagram channel, which I can't really even see who's on there, but I assume you're on, flightaware.com. Flightaware.com, type in the flight number, and you can track it all day, every day. Justin, any suggestions on regional airline for hours? How much multi-engine time do they generally ask for? Back in my day, they wanted a lot of hours, but I feel like as soon as you hit 1,500 hours, the bare minimum, regionals are hiring you. Maybe not at this exact point in time, because the economy might be a little slower. Hiring might not be as big of a boom as it was, but they're definitely hiring. Multi-engine back in the day, they wanted like 1,000 multi-engine hours. But right now, it's definitely a lot less than that. I know people that have the bare minimum, like 50 hours, because all you need is 50 hours to get your multi-engine. Or not even 50 hours. I forget. I think it's like 15, 10, 12, whatever it is. So I would just worry about getting total time more than multi. But multi definitely helps. If you have the option of multi or single engine, always choose multi. All right. Thank you so much, Pete. Is there anything I should do in high school to start training early? No, just are you that obsessed with flying? The PHAC, Pilot Handbook Aeronautical Knowledge. Read that book. That's your aviation Bible to start. Mauricio, all right. When coming back to Medellin, Mauricio's in the house. What's up, my guy? If you guys watched my Bogota, Medellin vlog, Mauricio is kind enough to make a guest appearance on that. We always thank him for that. We love having guests on the channel because I am boring to watch and talk to. So good-looking men like Mauricio show up once in a while and really boost the channel. So Mauricio, nothing on the schedule for Medellin yet, but hopefully what I really want, and you know this, I want to lay over in Medellin and not in Bogota, but you got to call the higher ups because they don't listen to me. They might listen to you. Hope all is well, buddy. How was a day-to-day life as a pilot major at ASU? It was great. I loved it. I lived in Tempe, the main campus, commuted to the Polytechnic campus in Mesa where the pilot program was. So I had the best of both worlds, in my opinion. I didn't want all aviation all the time. That's personally why I didn't even consider or would want to go to a school like Embry-Riddle. Not saying it's a bad school to go to, but I don't live, breathe, sleep aviation. I want intramurals. I want co-eds. I want parties. I want gyms and football games and tailgates and all that. So for me, it was the best way to go through the flight program. What's up, Kerosene? Melissa, Pilot Chat's helped me a lot. I'm glad. Thank you. What's the non-negotiable thing on your shirt about? So someone's got to tell our good friend here, Kerosene, what non-negotiable is all about. It's a lifestyle, Kerosene. It's not just a saying. It's a lifestyle. No, all jokes aside, it's just something that I say. I say it in every day. If you follow me on Instagram, I put up a poll. Did you work out today? It's non-negotiable. It's something that I just live by as far as moving my body. I believe physical health is uber important. It helps kind of set the tone for my mental health, my spiritual health, and my whole day. I know if I go a whole day flying or a whole day doom scrolling or watching Netflix and I don't go for a walk, stretch, yoga, weightlift, run a couple miles, I am not in a good place mentally, let alone physically. So non-negotiable. I borrowed it from, I heard, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, say on a podcast that he made a contract with himself prior to the season that he was going to do this, do that, do this. And no matter what, it was non-negotiable. He was going to get it done. I was like, I love that mindset. So I sell them on my website, pilotpetefly.com. I wear them all the time, but it's more just, like I said, I love seeing either my friends, my family, people. Some people obviously think it's a joke and bust my chops over it, which is perfectly fine. But then I also get tons of messages from people. Obviously, some of you are in this chat on my Instagram, my DMs and stuff, being like, hey, I lost a ton of weight, or hey, I finally got back into the gym, or I started doing A, B, and C, and D again. I feel so much better. So thank you for that. So that's kind of really what it is. It's a mindset and kind of just like a life tool and hack that I use to spread positivity and also help myself be a better person. It's non-negotiable. Let's see here. Have you ever flown to Princess Juliana? If you're talking about the airport in St. Martin, I think it's called Princess Juliana, then yes. If you are talking about something else, then probably not. Yo, Trader Joe's, what's going on? Happy to see you or hear from you. Hourly rate, average flight hours a month, SPAR. Hourly rate for me, you can go find on airlinepilotcentral.com. Average flight hours a month, anywhere from 50 on the low end if I drop my trips, up to 100, 120 credit hours. So let's just say there are a lot of men and women at my company making a lot of freaking money, and at other companies too. In my opinion, everything's relative. If you think making $12 million a month is not a lot of money, then being an airline pilot is not for you, because you will not make $12 million a month. So it's all relative, right? But I think it's very fine pay. Again, we work hard to get to where we're at. It costs a lot of money to become, and then the responsibility put on our hands is a lot. So I think it's nothing but fair. Wilmer, I had a bad experience with my old instructor doing power off stalls before. I'm doing stalls, power on and power off with my new instructor. Any advice on practicing stalls? Yeah, I would just say do them more. Chair flying. I know you're not going to actually stall, but like running through one right now, right? I remember, okay, power on stall. I'm going to add power, pitch the nose up way above the horizon, 30 degrees, 35, whatever it is. Hold that pitch as the airspeed decreases. And as you chair fly, even though you're not actually going to be stalling an airplane because you're sitting in a freaking chair on the ground with, 1 G sitting here or 0 G sitting here on Earth's, you still can run. It still helps when the actual game time comes and you're actually doing it in the air. So that'd be my advice. And then learn what stalls are. Learn that, like, hey, you're not going to fall out of the sky. Even if look up the worst stalls, and especially if you're probably in a Cessna 172 or a Piper Cherokee, those things are meant to fly. Like, they're hard to stall. Some of those planes are almost impossible to spin. As someone who's done spin training and goes up with friends and we try to spin airplanes sometimes just for the fun of it, it's hard to do that. That's how very well balanced and aerodynamic, I forget what they call it, positivity dynamics, whatever the aerodynamic term is. I forget from CFIing. But anyway, yeah, chair fly, learn what they are. Don't be nervous about them. And just ask your instructor those exact questions. Like, hey, I'm nervous doing power off stalls. Please help me. And if he or she is half decent instructor, they should be able to help you out with that. If they're not, it's time for a new instructor. Nav, do you know if people who have been diagnosed with mild ADHD can become a pilot? I would say yes, but I'm not positive. Don't take my word for advice. I'm not an AME, Aviation Medical Examiner. The FAA on their website has everything listed there. My best advice would be to go there or ask ChatGPT those exact questions, and they'll give you the answers. What? Cool. Thank you. Catherine, hey, Pete. What are your top 3 worst airports? Depends on worst. You're talking about like food, travel. Like I hate LAX, for example, because when I'm trying to go on United flight to get to Las Vegas and the United flight fills up, I got to go over to Delta or Spirit or whatever. Those terminals, the traffic getting around is miserable. I hate Charlotte because when I land in Charlotte and I'm connecting to go to Augusta or connecting to go to Miami or whatever, I land on a regional jet in Concourse E, and it takes me 45 minutes to get to Concourse A to make my connecting flight. I don't like Chicago O'Hare, same issue. It's just too massive. Now, you can say the same thing about JFK or Newark, but when you're based here, I'm always going right to my gate to take off or to land and go home. There's no connecting through these airports. So I'll go with LAX, O'Hare, and Chicago, or is Charlotte. Kerosene, do you know if there are different requirements between civilian and military stuff? There are different requirements, yes. Tariq just got in to say hi. What's up? I'm log out, back to my studies. Wish you the best. Thanks for joining. About to become a captain at my legacy airline. It's been a fun ride, but next I have to set new goals for myself to prevent being stagnant. Wesley, I know exactly that feeling. I was a captain at my major airline, then I got hired at my dream job, and then hired at another legacy airline, and I was like, I made it. I'm here. I finally did it. And then 6 months went by, that honeymoon phase plummeted, and I like not hit rock bottom, but my happiness and all those years I spent trying to get to where I was at, it was gone. So absolutely, I know exactly what you're talking about. For me, the pick me up that I did among a lot of things, hit the gym. I worked my tail off in the gym, made it non-negotiable. This backwards camera is screwing me up. I made it non-negotiable. I started running marathons, training for stuff. I surrounded myself with like-minded people, and making content was something that I really enjoyed. So those are just 3 or 4 of the things that really helped me, but I can definitely relate. What is your favorite commercial airline to fly? Whatever one gets me there for the cheapest, first class, and on time and direct. Tracy, Instagram, and FlightAware. Brian, I'm about to take my fur check ride. Do you have any shoot VOR approaches, or is it mostly GPS, RNAV? That's going to depend on the DP, the designated pilot examiner, and where you're at. Because if you're at some place that only has VOR or GPSs, I can't answer that question. Pretty much what you've been doing with your instructor is what they'll be doing on your check ride. I'm so used to going by Chris online, I just got confused for a moment. Wesley, watching you and your overnights def give me motivation. Let's go. Make it non-negotiable. Buy yourself a shirt. I'm going to plug them. Buy yourself a shirt. But then when you see it in your suitcase, you'll be like, you know what? I'm dead tired. The last thing I want to do is go down to the gym and work out. Skip the bar. Alcohol sucks. It's poison. Go walk on the treadmill for 15 minutes. Go outside for 20 minutes. I'm telling you, your life will change tremendously. It's the best medicine. It's the best medicine in the world. Where was I? Melissa, the other day was so hard. It was so bad over the lake. I worry about the dropping in altitude. Yeah, turbulence is no fun. No one likes it. Like I said, flycalmer.com. I put it up on the chat. Flycalmer.com. I talk all about turbulence of different kinds, and it's really helped a lot of people get over that fear. So feel free to check it out. Can I get a job at 1,500 hours at my company? Definitely not. But there's regionals that would hire you. David, I like those pictures on your wall. I appreciate it. I make them. So I've made all 3 of these. I've sold, I don't know, a couple hundred at this point. Pilotpetefly.com. Airport charts or wall art, I think, is the thing under the shop. And you'll see them. I can make any airport, international, domestic. I sell them 3 ways. PDF with these frames, or just the photos, and you can get them depending on what price and shipping you want, but appreciate it. AJ, what's up from Texas, Pete? Have you flown in the MDs yet? If not, what's one plane you haven't flown but like to your current company? I've never flown the MD. I will never God forbid, God willing, I will never fly the MD. I have no interest in learning that. I flew an MD-80 and an MD-88. That was enough old school for me. I want to fly the triple, but hopefully my company gets Airbus A350s or Boeing 87s, 747s. But yeah, Airbus A350 is definitely my like dream airplane to fly. I love Airbus, and the 350 would just mean I'm going to really cool places because it's a wide body going all over the world. I'm about to start flight school at the end of May. Do you have any tips? Austin, yes, a lot of tips. Obviously, I could talk for hours upon that subject. I would recommend going to my website again, pilotpetefly.com. There's a pilot community that I've started there. We meet like once a month. It's under construction right now. We haven't met in a couple months, but there's a couple of dozen, 100 people on there right now, and I can answer literally all your questions. I send you, we all join a Google Meet and spitball questions back and forth. And if I don't have the answers, someone definitely in the chat does. But my biggest tip would be go for it. You're going to love it. It's the best job in the world. Just got back from Indy. Love that city. What's up, Norwoods? Travis, I work at the airport in STL and food and beverage. Love the airport life. David, FlightAware, track flights. Yep, that's the best website. Smith, hey, Pete, had a couple discovery flights and had my first lesson at Part 61 school on Friday. Anything I should be doing this week? No, just enjoy. The whole point of flight training is to learn there. But if you want to get ahead of it, start reading the PHAK, Pilot Handbook Aeronautical Knowledge. It'll be like, and just don't overwhelm yourself. You're not going to know what the heck half of it is. Watch a video on YouTube. Maybe learn a little bit about what the airplane is going to do, how to steer left and right, how you steer on the ground, taxiing, but flying, especially the first couple of lessons, all feel. There's nothing you can do to really prepare until you get into the airplane. So that'd be my advice. From Brazil, do you fly into White Plains? HPN, yes. The 767 does not go to White Plains, but my old employer, when I flew corporate, I flew a Hawker 800. I went to HPN all the time. I fly out of there a lot as a passenger. My sister lives in White Plains. Let's see. Hey, P, ever bid for Anchorage flights? I'd love to buy lunch. Inspired me a lot to push hard toward my flying goals and change my life with fitness. Love that. That guy, Kai. Appreciate you subscribing and supporting. Thank you for the kind message. Anchorage. To answer your question, no, I have yet to be there. I have 49 states checked off in my career. 50 will be Alaska. I'll definitely get there with my company. As you know, we have a huge hub in Anchorage. Just hasn't been. It's all night departures. I don't do night, so we're waiting for a daytime trip to pop up. I'll get there, and we'll definitely do lunch. Make sure you shoot me a DM when you see I'm going there, and we try to link up. But love the fitness and pilot journey. Keep up the best work. Let's see. Trader, yes, get started on your PPL ASAP. When are you going to the 777? Whenever the bid holds it. Whenever I can get on the bid. I have my PPL. I want to be a commercial pilot one day. I have no desire to be a CFI. I don't think I would take a very good instructor. What is another alternative to build flight hours? There's a lot of options out there. Banner towing at like a beach or around public areas, pipeline scouting or navigation, whatever word they use for it, where you literally just fly for like checking out pipelines and down wires, and they have aerial photography. There's Part 135, like charter operations, small outfits that fly, like Cessnas, and they need 2 pilots, or you can go down to the islands in Turks and Caicos, the Caribbean, anywhere, and they're always looking for, especially American pilots, to go fly their planes. So there's definitely ways around it. You just got to get creative and start doing some research. Calgary, I've never flown to Calgary yet. What's up, Scarlett? Gaiman, hello. Do you think Delta Airlines is a hard airline to train, or are their requirements strict? They're the same. They're as hard and the same as every other airline out there. Is it funner to fly the commercial jets or the smaller ones? Funner, more fun. I like big planes. I don't like going slow. Jumping in the Cessna with my family or friends around New York City is a ball. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it. But if I had to choose one to do for the rest of my life, it would be bigger, faster ones. Thoughts on the new LaGuardia, Nav? I personally do not like it, but this is probably, I'm in the minority here. I don't care about aesthetics. So it's very aesthetically pleasing. It looks nice. It's fancy. It's got the water fountain, the piano, whatever. Why I don't like it? That moving walkway is like 100 feet long. I still have to drag my bag on a carpeted floor for hundreds of yards to get to my gate. I want quick access. I'm not like most people that travel. I show up to the airport like 22 minutes before the door is closing. I have special security as a crew member. I don't want to spend time in the lounge. I don't drink Starbucks. I don't want another Five Guys cheeseburger. I don't eat Subway. I don't touch that crap. I don't drink alcohol. So I want the minimum amount of time in airports. LaGuardia does not allow for easy entrance and easy exit. So therefore, it gets a 3 out of 10 in my books. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Melissa, what are your favorite airports or layover cities? I'll go with layover cities because airports I could care less about. Ones I've been to, top of the list, number one, no doubt, was Dubai. I was a kid in the candy shop there. I was only there for 24-hour layover. It was unbelievable. If you want an in-depth look at that trip, go check out my full YouTube video on that. It was unbelievable. Paris is always a good one. Sonia was able to come along with me on that one. It was a great time. And then Costa Rica, I fly to San Jose last month. I went up to La Fortuna, volcano hikes, zip lining, waterfalls, ATVs. Like, I'm a get out and do stuff person. So if it has that, I'm all in. Those would be my top 3. Tracy, you helped me jump back in my fitness journey again. So grateful. At least a mile a day. I know you're doing it early mornings. I just you're up probably before me, if I'm being honest. I'm trying to get more on the Tracy game and wake up earlier, but we'll get there eventually. VMet, is the stadium visual 2-night at Newark the most challenging approach at Newark? How do you approach prep for this approach differently than others? Great question. Most challenging at Newark, yeah, because everything else is just like an ILS. It's pretty straightforward. Stadium visual isn't hard though with the sophisticated airplanes now, especially at least the one I fly. So the 767, it honestly flies it just like it would any RNAV or GPS approach. It has all the fixes in there. The hardest part is, as far as answering questions, like how do you attack it, how do you brief it, is the speeds. So ILS is pretty straightforward. You're either getting it like on some sort of like offset, like a 30-degree offset, capturing the localizer, then the glide slope, and you're heading down. So when to slow down, put the flaps out, put the gear. It's pretty like it's muscle memory for 99% of airline pilots. Stadium visual, it's like you're picking something up over here, then you're descending and you're turning, and then you don't really level out to like 200 feet above the ground. It's definitely more abnormal, or more unique is a better word, I would say. So it's just when to configure, and you brief it up at cruise. 45 minutes, probably about an hour prior to landing, about 25, 30 minutes before we start our descent, we start talking about the approach, when we're going to configure, when we're going to put the flaps out, what speed we're going to be at. This way, the pilot flying, whether it's the first officer or the captain, the other guy or girl can be like, hey, you're off your speed, or you're off your altitude, or you're not configured. Remind them, hey, you said at fix, I don't have the chart in front of me, you said over Giant Stadium, MetLife Stadium, you're going to be gear down, flaps 30, 150 knots. Currently, you're 170 knots, flaps 15, and your gear's not down yet. So let's get configured. So you attack it just like any other approach. Dylan, have you ever been to Vancouver, Canada? I have. I've flown there, and I've also skied Whistler. Whistler is the name of the big mountain, yes. And I'm also a dually. I'm Canadian. Not many people know this. My mom was born and raised in Montreal. I have a dual citizenship two passports. All right, guys, we're 37 minutes in, probably about 30 minutes in, because I did have the technical difficulties. We're going to keep going 5 more minutes. Appreciate you guys. We're doing 30 minutes for 30,000 subscribers. Hopefully we can get the other 10,000 checked off quickly, 40, 60, 100,000, and we can do 100 minutes. Come on now. That's the goal. Melissa, I agree. Lax is the worst. What's your favorite airline to non-rev on, and what's your worst non-revving story? I don't have a favorite. I like free Wi-Fi. So when everyone has free Wi-Fi, and first, they all look, every airline loses bags. Every airline has maintenance issues. Every airline has awful snacks. I guess the first airline that starts serving no artificial ingredients and poppy soda over regular soda, that'll be my new favorite. And I don't really have that many horror stories as far as non-revving goes. I've gotten really, really lucky jump seating. So it's been a good couple of years for me, knock on wood. E, do you think 3 years of preparation with the aviation exam and sky test is a good idea? I just want to give myself the time during this period. I'm not exactly sure what any of that is. 3 years seems like a lot though. if you're talking about like airline prep, 3 years is way too much time. You're going to overwhelm yourself. You don't need that much time to prep. 3 months, perfect. 5 months, even better. Logan, what was your path to FedEx like? I flew corporate. I flew a regional for 3 months. I got hired at a major airline, flew there for 5 years, 2 as a FO, 2 as a captain on the MD-88, and 1 as a captain on the Airbus. And I went to a legacy passenger carrier for 10 months. COVID happened. I jumped ship and I went to where I'm at now, and it was the best decision for me. So that's my short and brief way of telling you what my path to get there was. Hey, Pete, I'm thinking going to college for aviation. I got accepted into Vaughn College over at Queens for the pilot program. The catch, it's going to cost me around $200K. Should I do it? Is it worth it? Again, I always tell people it's going to be, I don't know if $200K is a lot of money for you, or I'm assuming it is. For most people, it's a lot of money. It's going to be a personal choice. I hope the $200K would include some aviation expenses. I know at ASU it did not. I had to pay $25,000 a year in tuition. Flight training was a completely separate cost. But yeah, I would be happy to discuss more in detail. Like once I would know what your kind of lifestyle and what you're looking to accomplish is. It's definitely a good school. Is it worth it? Again, it's going to be a decision up to you. But pilotpetefly.com, join the pilot community. We're going to be starting up here in probably a week or two. We meet once a month minimum, and I can answer all your questions there. Kevin, what are your thoughts on you blanked off there. Barbecue pork. Hey, Pete, can't stay for long. Heading for the gym for work. Non-negotiable. We love it, pork. Go get it. Kevin, as a pilot, what are your thoughts on the Milwaukee airport? My main airport is super easy as a passenger. Yeah, easy airport. I fly over there a good amount. We go Milwaukee, and then we go to Chicago usually right after. So it's a nice quick flight. It's a fine airport. Let's see here. Barbecue pork Pete, do you send your merch globally? Yeah. Message me on my, you'll find the email on the Pilot Pete Fly website, hello@pilotpetefly.com. And depending on where you are, then yeah, we should be able to do that. Bro, I'm in the gym 6 days a week. No drinking for me, non-negotiable. We love to see it. Easy money. What's the next marathon? Chicago, October 12th. Slight plug here. If you go into any of my descriptions on any of my YouTube videos, I'm running for the Pat Tillman Foundation. If you are on here and you don't know who Pat Tillman is, this has nothing to do with me. Google this hero, legend, American icon. Hero is like the only really words that you can use. A lot of words to describe him, but American hero is probably the best one. He was a football player at ASU, went to play in the professional football NFL, drafted, making millions. And then 9/11 happened. He left NFL to go serve in the military. Unfortunately, he was killed in the military. A lot of documentaries on that. I'm not going to get into all the details, but super sad story. But the good that came from it, the silver lining, his family, his friends started the Pat Tillman Foundation. He was a big runner. So they do runs. They sponsor runs, and they also have bibs for running. I'm going to run for that charity. I need to raise a minimum. We're hoping to go way past it, but a minimum of $2,100, $1, literally $1 from 116 people in here would be a dream come true. If you can spare it. And yeah, help me get to my fundraiser goal would be a huge, huge help. So Chicago marathon, we're going for sub 3:30. So 3 hours and 30 minutes, like an 8-minute pace. Right now, I have no shot of getting that, but we're going to train. We're going to make it non-negotiable, and we're going to see how we do. Derek, I was just in Memphis this week for work. ATC here, passing the ramp. The only thing that came to mind was non-negotiable. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I don't know anyone's voice really. I would love to come up and get a tour and get that in the vlog. We got to make that happen. So if you have access to that possibility, DM me on Instagram, pilotpete.fly, and we'll set something up because I'm obviously transferring through Memphis all the time. Cax, Pete, I love your videos and your energy is infectious. Thank you so much. God bless. Got a job with an airline once to train fully funded, but couldn't because of my current job commitments. Hope to one day. Thank you for the kind message. Got a job with an airline once to train fully funded, but couldn't. I would say if you got it fully funded, especially, I know you have job commitments. This is an advice that I share with people I mentor, friends, family, or anyone who ever asks for advice. We live one life, folks. In 100 years from now, you will not be known. You will be a speck of dirt or wherever you end up. No one's going to care about embarrassing yourself on social media. No one's going to care about that time you said something stupid to that girl or guy you wanted to go on a date with. Nothing matters. So if your dream and your goal is to go fly, go fly. I know it's a lot harder and easier said than done than what I just described, but if there's a will, there's a way. So fully funded, job commitment with some other BS, quit and go fly. That would be my advice. Seriously, it really would be. Baseball. What teaching techniques do you have the most success with as a CFI? Teaching techniques, I don't know the official terms, but I just was really adaptable to my students. So student A was quiet and liked to read his or her books, and kind of see on a whiteboard. I would attack that student that way. One student was very physical, where they needed to go in the airplane or the simulator and actually fly it, screw it up, see what they did wrong, have me explain it. So yeah, I just was, in my opinion, my students would say the same thing. I was very adaptable to each student. I knew, having been a student before, there's multiple ways to learn something. So I teach it my way, meaning like, hey, this is how I would do it. If it wasn't clicking with them, I'd find another way to help them out. Come to Ontario, far away, nice one with longer runways and lax. Yes, hopefully I get Ontario, Tracy. They took away the day flying though. I don't do night flights. Don't do night flights. Tim, love your channel, love your content. Good luck with the marathon. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Do you think 3 years of preparation? I just want to give myself answer that one. How do you eat healthy on the road? Grant, great question. I get this a lot. Stick to whole foods, meaning like whole ingredient foods as much as possible. I don't eat any fast food whatsoever. McDonald's, Taco Bell, is bad for you. It tastes delicious. It's cheap. I love it, but I resist from eating it. Drink a lot of protein shakes, and I go to places like, it just happens to be the same name, but I go to Whole Foods Market and go to their hot bar and get the sweet potatoes and the grilled chicken and the pork, whatever it may have. I go to places like Kava. It's like a fast casual, relatively healthy place. Chipotle. Every place has a Chipotle. I get rice. I don't like beans, but they're good for you. Beans. I get the chicken. I get the steak. And I get hot sauce. I don't get any of the guac and cheese. Guac isn't really that bad. Sour cream, though. I don't drink soda. And then I work out. When you work out, I'm in the gym 5, 6, 7 days a week, and I run 5, 6 days a week. So when you move your body and you exercise that much, it's one of the great things I tell some of my clients that I have. Like, if you want to eat whatever you want to eat, food is fuel. So that's a great way to kind of always eat healthy, is by doing that. All right, guys, 3 more questions. Flown to GSP? Yes, I have a bunch of times. Aaron, if you ever come into CVG, you need to go to 3rd and Main for a steak dinner. If you're buying, I'm in. Wesley, hey, Pete, what is your favorite food you love to have while landing in the West closed? I don't know what that means, but we'll go with West Coast, I think. We're going to go with In-N-Out. Tracy knows the order. A 4x4 animal style Napoleon milkshake, animal fries with peppers added. That's a me thing. Dog fights, no dog fights anytime soon. What's up, Antonio? Good night, Peter. Got to take my dog out. It's not negotiable. I love it. And last one is aviation college really hard to get through? No, nothing in life is hard to get through. It's just how much time and sacrifice you're willing to put in. So at ASU, for example, I personally sacrifice a lot of parties and this social gatherings to study because I loved aviation. I love learning. And I wanted to excel in that. But all right, guys, that's a wrap. Again, thank you for 30,000 subscribers. The goal is 100,000 by the end of the year. A huge goal, way out of my probably going to get, but we're going to put it out in the atmosphere. We're going to try for it. PilotPeteFly.com. Join the pilot community if you want more questions and more of this. We actually do like where I can see you and hear your questions than just typing, because you'll get a specific Google Meet link for that. Merch is on there too. Pilot Pete Fly, pilotpete.fly on Instagram. You already know where to find me, but the videos are going to keep coming out. We're going to get into aviation accidents and incidences. And again, I'm doing this because you guys are honestly the best. The messages I get, the positivity, just the interaction in a whole is really, really cool. And last thing I'll say is if you see on my stories on Instagram like that I'm going to go to your city, reach out. You want to meet up for a run, a workout, talk aviation. I'm probably not going to go to your house because I don't know you and have dinner. I shouldn't say probably. I'm definitely not going to go to your house and have dinner with you, as nice as you may be. But you want to come join me on a run or join me at the gym, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And we can talk aviation, hang out. I love meeting new people and cool people. But as always, appreciate you. Be safe, fly safe. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Till next time, we'll see you.